Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. You have arrived to the conversation that'll end all conversations. The Soulcast with your host, Woody Wood. And now, without further ado, let's get in that crazy head. Here's your host, Woody Wood.
What's up? All right, it is the, what is this? The fifth episode of the Soulcast. I'm Woody Wood, and to my right is Katie Scarborough.
Yo, what's
She's
up, everybody?
my guest host this week, along with Ashley Pappas.
Hello.
Pappy Bones. And our guest this week is Chris Hardy.
Why am I here?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, actually, that is why you're here, because I want to know who you are, okay? And
So do I. Take a number.
It's for my benefit. It's not for anybody else's benefit. Just forget that the camera's on or that you're being recorded, and fuck
crap.
those people. You know what I'm saying? We don't care what they think. No?
Wow.
We're going to get existential
I'm
on this
frightened.
show because Chris is an existential type of person in his art. I think that you tend to have a lot of questions more than answers in your art. Or maybe both mixed together like a good 50-50.
This is what happens when you don't have a good education.
Well, I mean,
You ask a lot of questions.
It's what happens whenever I think you have, a reason to seek something. It's like real shit. You're looking for real shit.
That's right.
Now, these two girls are like two of my greatest loves of my life. They're wonderful peoples, and I brought them on because Ashley has known Chris for a minute and known his music and knows his wife and her work, and she thinks that they're awesome.
Love them.
Love,
dearly.
love. And
Shout out to Victoria.
All right.
And what kind of instrument is it that you play? What is that called?
It's not a tenor guitar. It's not a ukulele. It is a piccolo bass guitar.
Piccolo bass.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a bass guitar, but I put guitar strings on it and crank it up an octave.
Right. I think that is very interesting, and this is why you're on the fucking show. Now,
Because of the bass, right?
no,
It's all about the bass.
No, because of your art. Because my favorite band in the whole history of bands, and it's very hard for me to pick one, but I have one, and they're called Morphine. You know, Morphine?
Oh, yeah. The two-string bass and the bari sax. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing it with a slide,
Yeah.
and his tone of his voice with the saxophone.
Oh, yeah.
I think that you play well to your piccolo. Your voice to your style of playing and everything, I think it plays well. And so the first time that I saw you, I'd heard your name a few times, and then I was like, I gotta see this guy.
Uh-oh.
And then I saw you at Mad Studios, and I was like, whoa. I was like, the whole time I was giggling to myself, and I was smiling real big because I was like, yeah, I gotta fucking talk to this dude. I gotta know who this guy is and where he's coming from. I know that you've recorded how many albums?
By myself, 3 with 3 Feet Up. That was the band I had with my wife. She played drums, I played guitar, and we did 4 albums. And then before that, there was Nervous Boy, 1 album. So what is that? 8? Yeah, that's 8. Wow.
That's awesome.
Again, kids, stay in school.
And all of them are self-released, or did
Yeah,
you? Okay.
yeah.
All right. I'm kind of in that same kind of realm, but I never released anything. Now, I have like 8 albums worth of shit, and nobody has it. There's a few people that have it, but they're lucky, real lucky. I was like looking at the microphone like it was somebody.
Ooh, that would be creepy for me. Why are you so close to my face?
Do we know each other like that? But so you're in the middle of another one, right?
Yes.
And how far along are you?
I have to submit the artwork today, and then it gets manufactured.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so.
And so how long have you been playing?
Depends on what.
Music, art, playing in the world?
1978 I started.
That's what's up.
Started taking
now, how
drum
old were you in 1978? And don't lie to me, because I'll find out.
Well,
I'll take your DNA.
I was in 8th grade, so that was... You're making me do math. Stay in school, kids. I don't know, 14.
Right on. Okay. And are you not going to stop, right? You can't stop.
I found that
it seems like to me that you're one of those people that you have to do it.
Well, in my experience, the older I get, I don't even know where this was going. No, in my experience, when I don't play music for a period of time, like a week or two, I start to get ill, physically ill, and I don't know if that's all psychological. It could be.
Hey, everything's psychological.
I'm a basket case, so
It's your medicine.
That's such
it
good
must
medicine.
be.
It's your medicine.
I think
Everything
so.
is psychological. Everything is in your head. I don't care what it is. We're
Yep.
manifesting our reality.
I'm
right
just
now.
spending a lot of time trying to get it out of my head.
But we were talking about Katie and Ashley and I were just talking about outside when we were having our safety meeting. About how
That
we
was
believe.
a fail.
I know, right? Yeah, Ashley just totally the door in the studio.
Blew the doors off the place.
The door in the studio fell straight down, and she rode that bitch all the way to the ground.
Like
It
a surfboard.
It
My
sounded
heart
like
just
thunder
stopped
and lightning.
racing,
It was
door
crazy.
surfing.
So I'm like literally shaking.
Yeah, my heart just stopped racing, and now you reminded me.
It's like I just see everything's psychological. When you think, your your physical reaction is manifested from your emotional
Right.
reaction in your mind. I mean, there's a few songs that I heard you do when I saw you perform, like it took me places, like they take me on journeys, and I'm like, wow. And and you know what? One of them made me think of Ziggy Stardust and that whole outer space type of floating around with a fucking spacesuit on,
wonder
tethered
what
to
that
the earth
was.
with an umbilical cord or some shit and so I think that whenever I see an artist like that, it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and I'm like, wow, that's coming from someplace other than here.
Oh, yeah. This is why I'm uncomfortable taking credit for stuff like that, because
Right.
I'm just transmitting.
It's like John Lennon said one time, and I quote him a lot. He said, he was doing an interview and he was aggravated.
Yeah.
And the girl was like, so how do you feel writing all these awesome songs? You're one of the greatest songwriters of all times. And he goes, I never wrote a song in my life, love. Right? He's like, I'm just an antenna. Everything's coming through me.
Right? That's like saying, this is such a great Panasonic radio. It plays the best songs. No,
Right, exactly.
Well, technically it does, but not.
It's not really. But I mean, I feel like even when you record music, it becomes alive.
Yeah.
Like it can live forever, and then also it changes through time what it means to people, what it means
Right.
to society, what it means to the world, what it means to outer space, our existence. You know, whether we really had dinosaurs here or not. I saw the bones.
They won't show you the bones of the giants.
Oh, see? They're trying to keep that.
They've
And
got
I-
skeletons.
I've also read a whole bunch of stuff lately about, how long they think that Homo sapiens, our particular people, have been on the planet.
Too long.
And they found this skull apparently they've dated it like 2 million years old.
Wow.
And it's our same body type, our same, it's us. So where did we come from, really? Like there is no missing link, really. It's just a link. There's no. I don't even know. know. But I think that everything's magical on this planet because of the way that, especially photosynthesis. Whenever I found out about photosynthesis, I was like, "What the fuck?" It blew my mind. I was like, "That's how shit works. It's the key to everything."
Yeah.
And then also, I have this crazy theory about how I believe that our souls are locks, and then our DNA are keys. And say your soul goes into a DNA sequence, it cannot, once it passes above that DNA sequence or it leaves that DNA sequence, it goes into a higher frequency of DNA sequence, a more aware and conscious DNA sequence, then that you can never go backwards. You can never turn off those parts of that DNA sequence that you turned on, you see?
Yeah.
And so if I was a cat in a previous life, maybe 10 previous lives, then I might have dreams here and there of it and subconscious specks of memory on this level, in this plane. But at the same time, I can never go back and be a cat whenever I die, whenever I leave this particular vessel. Also, just recently they released news that they found computer code in string theory. So maybe we really are in a computer program.
Oh no.
Wow.
Come on.
We talk about this
I mean,
every
I
time we
must get
hang
it
out.
out. I've been waiting for this show with you because
It must be Vista.
I got to know.
I'm just saying.
There are definitely glitches in the
Yeah.
Matrix because I was telling Katie and Ashley this morning. I was like, "Yeah, put the T on the." And I have this weird thing, like even with names, like with pronouns, period, like names of things or persons or places. I'm like, whenever we went to
Proper noun, insert proper noun.
So I'm like, I can't, and then I always see the same cat twice.
Oh, yeah.
You see, and that's definitely a glitch in the Matrix.
Yes.
And one time, I sometimes I have trouble sleeping, ladies and gentlemen. This is no secret to anybody, but whenever I have a bout of insomnia, throughout my whole life, I've tried different things to help me sleep, and I can't. It does, and sleeping pills makes my skin crawl. But every once in a while, a motherfucker will take a Xanax. Now, I don't do it anymore because it gives me these crazy night terrors, right? And the last time I did it, that scene in The Matrix where he touches the mirror and it's like he's getting sucked into the mirror?
Oh, yeah.
I had that happen in a dream.
Whoa.
And whenever I popped out of it, my skin was actually vibrating like it was happening to me. And I was like, see, everything is in your mind. Everything, it really is in your mind. So whenever Ashley rides the fucking door to the ground and we all get whoa, and we react emotionally to that, we have to, we actually have the power to say, okay, we're okay.
Yeah.
Everything's cool.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, where were you born at?
Westbrook, Maine.
Oh, no shit. When did you come down this way?
Well, let's see. I had a childhood in just outside of the Boston area. Joined the Army at 17. Got here when I was 18. Spent 6 years with the Army band at Fort Gordon. Got out, and then there was like a string of moving up north, down south, up north, down south. Just rinse, lather, repeat.
Right on.
Yeah.
And which do you like? Which do you prefer, if you mind me asking?
Well, it all depends. I really like the summer in Maine. However, the rest of the year, not real pleasant.
Right.
And I like it down here a lot, but my sinuses sure don't.
Right. Are you having issues with that now?
Yeah, it's starting.
I love it whenever the girls go, at the same time.
We're busy
Can you at least
eating an
harmonize
orange.
that?
They're eating an orange right now, taking in the sun's great vitamins and the earth's great vitamins.
Raw honey for
That's
if you've been doing raw
local.
honey. Yeah.
Local.
Local. That's what I meant.
Yep.
Yes. See that I can't really relate too well because I don't really suffer from allergies. I never have.
See, I don't up north. And we lived in North Carolina for 7 years and was never a problem there. As soon as we come back to Augusta, bam!
Bam. Yeah. Well, we're also in that river plateau where it's like sunk down to, pretty much ocean level almost.
Yeah.
And so we're in that dead spot where we're in between the
It's like, all the stuff from Atlanta flies over this way and just kind of hangs
sits
here.
right here.
Huh.
And then, but the reason I love Augusta so much, and I talk about it all the time, is the river.
Yeah.
The river is, I don't know, it's a really powerful river. I've been to a lot of rivers because I love rivers and waterfalls. I love moving water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll actually travel out of my way to specifically go to certain moving water spots.
Hey.
And the ford in our river that has where you can't pass the rocks, it runs from about I-20 down, to right before you get to the Riverwalk,
Oh, yeah.
And you have those rocks where you couldn't get a big boat up past that part.
Yeah.
So that's why they built the canal to get past that part.
I get it.
And the canal, they used to pull the barges of cotton on further up, and that's why they built the old lock and dam. The locks lifted the water up over the rocks, and you were able to continue up the river. The rocky part is my favorite part. Like you can walk all the way over to the Carolina side of the river on the rocks like whenever it's at a certain level.
It's one of my favorite places to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's
beautiful
beautiful.
spot.
Jumping, hopping, and skipping across the rocks.
But I honestly feel like if that river wasn't here, I wouldn't be in Augusta.
I
Because
agree.
as far as a geographic area,
Yeah.
it's not the prettiest so much.
Although I got to say, the cost of living is
Oh,
attractive.
hell yeah, man. Coco was talking about that. He was on the first Cop podcast,
Yeah.
and he was like, honestly, I live here, save up money, and then I go to exotic places.
Yeah.
Because living here
'Cause you can save
affords me
money.
to travel. Yeah. And like he's in New York City right now with,
Yeah, I
with,
bet.
you know, his wife
And
Maya and his mom.
I personally think the music scene is really good here, and I know everybody's howling out there. How can
Oh.
you possibly say that,
Dude, I don't care what
I've
they
been
say.
other places.
I have been an ass of places,
Yeah.
and I have looked for the scene, specifically injected myself into that world.
Right.
And there's no place like the CSRA. Right now, I think that our pool of artists and the talent that we have in this area is undeniable.
Yeah.
And over time, it'll be proven.
Oh yeah,
And it's already starting to get it's like I'm getting revel from people like, oh yeah, you're good, and where'd you come from, and why aren't you famous? And I'm like, I've been doing this for 23 years, thank you for coming to my show.
yeah.
And it's just a matter of people knowing that you're there, and people going to see your show, and then people falling in love with you and wanting to see you again.
Right.
Which I will definitely be going and seeing another Chris Hardy show.
You guys should do a show together.
Oh yeah,
soon.
absolutely. I was going to get to that, and thank you for bringing that up because that's a good segue. I do want to put a show together. Recently, we did the April 5th the benefit show for the
Yeah,
Jordans
yeah,
and the Faulkners,
couldn't do that
and I asked you, but you weren't. You had a previous
I
engagement.
was unavailable.
But I was kind of happy that
Yeah.
I accidentally forgot to tell Coco that you weren't on the list because at least your name was involved and
See, I
people
found
could
the
see your
opposite.
name.
I found that when my name is on something,
You should be
it's
there
Not
because
great.
no. Well, see, I do feel like the reputation thing is very important for artists, especially musicians.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you say, I was raised to believe that if you say you're going to do something, you fucking do it. There's no
there's
ways
something
of
to
getting
be
around
said
it.
for that,
That's
yeah.
why I can't promise people much because
yeah.
I know that it's very difficult for me to keep a promise.
Yeah.
And if I can't keep a promise, I'm not going to make it to you.
That's right.
Because I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. So if I promise
Yeah.
you, that's fucking in the... Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Woody's going to be there. So I want to talk about Awake Augusta. Katie has recently... where you at, Jim? Jim, check out the... get the logo in there.
Check it out.
Can you see that?
Best insignia.
So, a group of friends of us started Awake Augusta, and Awake Augusta is nothing more than just a label that you want to put on whatever it is that's happening. And I ask everybody this: do you feel, Mr. Chris Hardy, that people are getting nicer? Is there a paradigm shift happening, or is it just me? Now, most of the time, Joe Stevenson said it was me. Coco said it was me. Joe said it was me. Is it me?
Here's what I see. The people that were nice before are getting nicer. However, the people who were nasty before are getting nastier. I think the whole spectrum is intensifying.
See, that is an excellent
Yeah.
answer to that
I
question.
can see that. I
I
think
agree
I
with
just
that.
surround myself with such lovely people, so I'm like in the same.
Well, yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
easy. It's
everybody's
easy to
getting
do
nicer.
that. But then when I just notice little things on my commute alone. I mean, just going up Wrightsboro Road every day.
Yeah. Oh, Riceboro is. Ugh.
It's sort of a microcosm of what the world is, how the world is behaving, and it's I've only been back in Augusta almost 2 years, and I'm noticing a few things like that.
I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to. I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to have the show be longer, because I'm literally feeling like I'm moving at a fast pace because I want to get a lot out of you, and we only have an hour. But I will ask you to come back if you'll do it again if you enjoy the show. But is there anything that you wanted to ask Chris? Is there anything that you wanted to know about him? Because that's part of the reason why I asked you to be part of the show.
People, ask away.
How did you and Victoria meet?
We met back in, it's probably 1991. I had a band called Sylvia's Advice. It was like a cover band. We did some originals. And we were playing at a place, now I'm sure we met probably before this, but what I remember is I was playing a gig at this place on 8th Street called The Bob.
I remember the Bob.
Yeah, this was the first Bob,
yeah.
the little tiny one, before they moved to where the Capri, across from the Capri. It wasn't actually in the Capri.
I remember.
And she was dating the guitar player in Sylvia's Advice. So we were just good friends for years and years and years. And then I was actually married to someone else, and I went through a divorce just as she was about to marry another guy. And so then she divorced that guy eventually, and I had just, cut it off with a girlfriend. So at the time we were both available, and we said, hey, we've always liked each other.
Fireworks and shit.
Fireworks, yeah, that's a good one.
I like that story.
It's not going to get on the Lifetime network or anything, but it's a good story. I really like the fact that I know her fairly well, and she knows me fairly well. We hung around for years before we even thought about getting married. I think that's a good way to do it. My first wife, I knew her for less than a year before marrying her, and then all of a sudden there were these surprises, and that's kind of why it didn't work out. So no surprises with Victoria.
Right.
I'm a big stand-up comedian fan. I love stand-ups, and that's part of the reason why I started this podcast, was because of Joe Rogan. He's got a podcast called The Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, yes.
And it's great. It's fucking awesome. Shout out, Joe. Anyway.
Just in case you're listening, Joe.
He's my friend on Facebook. You never fucking know.
That's true.
Facebook is amazing. Anyway, we were laughing the other day because marriage, the institution of marriage, is such an interesting concept. And if there was Aziz Ansari, he's the one that said it. He said if marriage never existed, right, and all of a sudden you've been hanging out with this girl for a while, and you look at her and you're like, I really like you. I want to hang out with you forever.
Until one of us dies.
Until one of us dies. Whoa. And then she's like, what is that? He's like, that's a cake with 2 itty bitty people that look like us on it. Here, feed me some. And then she's like, well, who is that? And he's like, that's a preacher. You promise in front of God that you'll never break your, we're going to hang out till we die. So, the institution of marriage to me is kind of preposterous, but at the same time, the gesture, my favorite part is kind of like asking, all right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you say, I love you. I want to stay with you forever. If that's cool with you, maybe we could sign this piece of paper in blood.
Yeah, there you go.
And then we'll be bonded forever and ever. Of course, in our society, it's not, it really isn't that big. It's not looked upon as a sanctuary or, as it used to be looked at.
Yeah.
Which I think might be a progression in our consciousness. I mean, I don't know. I'm not putting down marriage, of course, because I've been married.
See, I'm not real crazy about the whole ritualistic part of it. I think it's, my big thing recently has been individualism. I'm writing songs about being strong enough to be who you are and not being afraid of what other people think. And it's like one of those things where the way you get married should be personal. It should not necessarily be what everybody else does. You got to have the cake. You got to have the little people on the cake. you don't need all that. You just need you and the one you're going to marry. That's and well, a justice of the peace if you want to get the paperwork done. So
Well,
For tax purposes.
This,
Yeah.
for tax purposes.
there are legal benefits, I hear. So.
Well, the thing is that for me, it's nice to have it. You know, I do like to travel, but
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what sucks? Traveling by yourself. I've done it a lot.
Oh, sure.
And whenever you go someplace, say you go to Niagara Falls, and you've never seen it before, and you walk up and you see it, and you're like, holy shit.
Oh, you want to share that awe with someone
Right.
else.
You have that moment where you
Yeah.
have a tear in your eye and you look around and you're like, oh, fuck, man.
That's why most of the time you see me around, I'm with my wife.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I feel that same way. Like, if you have a partner like that,
Yeah.
that you could go anywhere, and as long as you're with that person, then you're fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you're home wherever you go.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome. I'm really glad that you have that.
Me too.
I'm envious of you. That's
She's
fucking awesome.
She
And
is.
I do. Your wife has a blog. If you want to mention the blog.
Yes, I do. It's turtlesvoice.com.
Yes,
She
and
writes
it's-
short stories. She's written a novel. It's on Amazon.com. It's called Kicking the Goat Silly. And it's a kind of a dark Stephen King, Dean Koontz type of thing in a Georgia town. And it's interesting. And you will not believe the ending. God, I sound like one of those video descriptions. You won't believe what happens. But no, I
Is there an audio version of said book?
you know, one would think there should be because
You need to do the voiceover
Because
for it,
I
man.
do
Come in here
voiceovers.
to Greenlight Studio. Morgan will hook it up for you, and he'll be like, "Give me the dough, and we're gonna make it beautiful."
Wow.
And then next thing you know, y'all got a digital download fucking book.
I could do that.
It's genius, man. We just came up with another stream of income for you guys, man. It's genius.
Yeah.
Not that I don't hate money. I love money very much, but I don't focus on it like it's something
Right.
I'm always trying to. It just comes to me naturally.
Yeah.
Like I get random checks in the mail, and I'm like, I didn't even know they owed me money. This is awesome.
Wow.
Like literally, the law of attraction is a real fucking thing, man.
After your house burned down, you were just taken care of.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why I did the benefit, because I didn't even really mention anything on the microphone. I was thinking about doing this whole long. Well, you know, I had a fire back in. You know, who
but
gives a fuck?
you handled it so stoically. I mean, I was so touched
Well,
by
I mean,
how you handled.
that was the second time that I lost everything. So you know what? Practice makes perfect. You know, no, but it felt like it was a freeing thing for me, because I realized that I had an entrapment to my things, and I developed an anchor with my possessions.
That's true.
And right after it happened, I fucking jumped in a truck and went across country. You know, ended up in Washington State in Seattle.
And you probably never would have done that had your house not burned down.
No, absolutely not. But a couple of months before that, if that's not weird enough, my best friend Ian Drakely died.
Yes, I remember Ian.
And right after that, I got my sleeve done. I was
yeah.
after he died, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do all the things that I've always said that I was going to do, and I haven't done. And going across country included that. And that's why whenever the fire happened, I was like,
Now's the time.
yeah. Because I survived it, literally jumped out of my bedroom window, and my bed was on fire.
Ow.
It was nipping at motherfuckers' heels, y'all.
Whoa.
I ain't kidding. And so a lot of things have happened to me in my days where, like literally, I shouldn't be here. The river almost took me one time. I was like 15 years old, me and Joe Bone, and we shouldn't have been doing this, ladies and gentlemen, but we had figured out a way to get some spiced rum.
Oh.
And and we got drunk, and Mom and Dad, please, if you hear this, it's already happened, so it's too late.
Sorry, no need to worry about it now.
And we jumped off the back. I don't even know if our parents know this fucking story, but we jumped off the back of this rock into an eddy, and it was an undertow, and it pulled us down. It was probably about 15 feet deep there or something like that. It was crazy. It was like, and it was trying to pull us under the rock and shit. It was weird, and I found myself struggling to get out of the current. And that was the first time I'd ever had the thought, I've had this thought a couple of times since then, but that I said, oh shit, this is how it's going to happen. This is how I'm going, you know? And I was like, fuck. And then all of a sudden I heard my dad's voice in my head, and he was like, if something like that ever happens to you, don't panic. You know, kind of go with it.
Yeah.
And I let go, and it popped me back out to the surface. I got a breath of fresh air, and I just took a deep breath, and I started backstroking really, really softly.
Yeah.
Not softly, but like in a calm manner, and tried to keep my breath going evenly. And next thing I felt, somebody grabbed my hand and pulled me up. And I was to the point where I had struggled so much that I could not physically do it anymore.
Yeah.
It was to the point to where literally I had to give up. There was no more fighting, and I was about to die. This river's taking me. And that was one of the greatest lessons I'd ever learned.
Oh, yeah.
Because it taught me, it was precursor to me learning that you have to accept the situation for what it is and go with the flow and roll with the punches. You know, you can't control everything around you. The only thing that I have control over is my reaction to the stimuli that I have around me. And there we go back to, I'm not a product of my environment. My environment is a product of me.
Yeah.
So have you ever had that moment where you said, oh shit, this is it? I'm
Yes.
going. Yeah? Tell me about it.
Well, I should first say that my solution to the river thing would be stay the hell out of the water. That would be my solution.
Well, no, stay out of the water when you're drunk and you're stupid 15-year-old.
Well, there's that. My brush with death was, I was on I-20. I was going to visit Victoria. I was up there. I'd just gotten off Bobby Jones Expressway, going up that hill out towards... what's next? The Wheeler Road exit, I think.
Yeah.
And this was before they had the wall in the median. Well, I happened to notice at the top of the hill in the oncoming lane, tractor trailer swerved to avoid somebody coming off the on-ramp. Well, he went barreling across the median. He's coming at me right there in my lane. I'm in the left lane. And all I could think was, I better slow down. And I'm looking at the median going, if I go into median, I might flip over. And I don't want to do that. Of course, I don't want to get hit by an 18-wheeler head on. Well, the 18-wheeler kept going, and a truck sped past me, a pickup truck, on the right. And it hit that guy head on. And that thing, it was probably 50 feet in front of me when that happened. It jackknifed, and it skidded to a stop literally 10 feet in front of me. I'm stopping there. My heart's going, oh my God, the door fell off. It's like, yeah, looking at this 18-wheeler and thinking, I almost died right there. So, yeah. Angels are real, people.
So,
Angels are real.
When you saw Victoria, you were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Come here, woman. Let me hold your bosom.
No, I was kind of like, oh my God.
Oh, we would have reacted a little bit different, but that's okay.
Well, yeah.
Man, that is some scary shit, man. That is not cool. That's why lately I haven't been driving, and that's another issue with me, like the control thing. Literally, I have to, that helps me too, because I have to sit with somebody that I don't think drives as well as me, and then I have to be all calm about it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know?
Scares the shit out of me. I have to tell people, you need to quit driving like an asshole because I don't want to die right now.
Yeah, not right
Okay?
now.
Not in your hands. Come on.
Well, you're also dealing with other people on the road too.
It's
so
scary. We're driving these like 2,000-pound metal things.
Projectiles.
and at very fast
Yes,
rates of speed.
going so fast. My face has hit the dashboard. When I was 19, I went from the back seat, flew forward, broke my nose, ripped half of my lip off.
Oh, ow. Well, it got fixed good.
Yeah. For a moment, I'm sitting in the back like, this does not feel good. And I'm just, blood's pouring. And I'm like, I'm going to get depressed now. And like, I don't know. It's going to be terrible. My life is ending now.
See?
It was bad. It was really bad.
Your reaction to it, you know, like, how old was that? Or how old were you?
I was 19, so this was like 5 years ago. And
Wow.
I was so puffy faced for like 2 weeks. had to go to school like looking like a blowfish.
And who was driving?
My friend Lacey. Sorry, Lacey. Oh my God.
Sorry, Lacey.
She was freaking out. She was scaring me even more. She was like, I love you. I'm so sorry. Please don't die.
Please don't die. That's funny.
You were
Yeah.
my best friend.
Katie, I've known Katie's family for a long, long time. Katie and I just became acquaintance not too long ago,
Yeah.
right?
I would say we're friends now.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Acquainted.
We had
And
dinners.
We were initially acquainted, and now we are friends. I love her brothers very, very much. She's got some awesome brothers.
Shout out
and
to my family.
Shout out to the Scarboroughs.
Scarborough.
What? And I just recently met your dad, and he's cool as shit. He's cooler
Love
than the
my
other side of your
dad.
pillow, man. And I did not expect for him to appear the way that he did.
Oh no, he looks like Willie Nelson.
Yeah,
He's
I was
beautiful.
like, yeah, I was like, whoa, dude, that's crazy.
Actually, your music reminds me of my dad.
Wow.
So it's just a nice emotional connection because it
Sweet.
means a lot. Takes me back to my childhood.
yeah, see that's
Now I feel old.
no, it's not.
That's okay.
Actually,
Well, I am old. I should feel old.
The concept of age is silly, but the concept of experience, on the other hand,
Right. I guess what offends me.
Because I feel like I've lived like 10 lifetimes. Really.
Yeah, I think what offends me about getting older is people with talent that just abandon it. It's a gift from God, and you're like telling God, you know what, this is a nice
it's
gift
God's
that you
voice.
gave me, but I'm going to be an accountant or something.
Yeah,
you know?
I want to sell insurance.
And the
now.
rest of your life, you're thinking, God, I'd love to get out and play. But no, I have to go make money.
See, everybody, fucking listen to Chris Hardy because he is speaking the truth right now, and the truth is God. God's coming through his voice right now, ladies and
Give me
gentlemen.
5 minutes and it'll change.
No, man. I mean, it's true. You know, I wish more people would do that because I think it would be a better place.
I think more people will do that because what I noticed about the nasty people and the nice people being nicer and nastier, the independent people, whoever's got a little shred of independence, it's, you know, I see more and more people doing that, and that's encouraging.
That's part of the kind of people that I'm surrounding myself with
Yeah.
people that want to have a local voluntary community.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to force you to do anything, but you know, those who put in get back,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I'm an anarchist at heart, and I believe in self-policing.
Yeah.
I don't believe that I need anybody to tell me that I need to wear a fucking seatbelt.
Yeah.
I don't believe I need anybody to tell me that I need to wear a helmet when I ride my motorcycle, or pads for that fucking matter.
Yeah.
I'll do what I want to do when I want to do it whenever I'm dealing with my particular vessel.
See?
Right.
If I'm trying to hurt somebody else, then yeah, step in and fuck me up. That's fine.
Sounds very libertarian.
Yeah, maybe I'm drunk or out of my mind and I need to be stopped. Right?
Who knows?
But in the case of trying to tell me that after I know that I'm a good person, I know that I contribute to a positive vibration on this planet,
Yeah.
you're going to tell me that I can't do something with my body. Oh, I'm a pirate. Y'all fucking with the wrong one. So, speaking of where people come from, you were born here, right, Katie?
I was born at St. Joseph's, which I guess is now Trinity, but I grew up about 20 miles to the southwest of here in Blythe.
Out in the country?
Out in Blythe.
Yeah. It was boring as fuck.
No.
No? You
loved
loved
it.
it?
Loved
That's
it.
what's up.
Grew
See?
up just running through the trees and acting like a crazy person.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. And so what we got to do is, you know, go back to that. Like whenever I was a kid, I thought, why don't we just go back to being like Native Indians and live in teepees? Because that would be
Yeah.
cool. I mean, like it felt like a natural
Yeah,
thing.
but that would be off the grid. They can't have that.
Oh yeah,
Do you have a permit for that teepee?
I was
Right.
totally domesticated through the system and society. My parents, God bless you, all of that stuff. Yeah, that was backhanded. And so basically, what it is I was indoctrinated into this system, and through pretty much repetition. This is what we're going to give you. I need you to regurgitate this exactly back to me.
Yeah.
Don't put any thought or improv in it because this is a verbatim script, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I don't want to do that anymore. All of a sudden, there was a switch that went off in my head that said, you don't have to do that because you are fucking all powerful. You are God.
There you go.
Your soul, the energy that's running this body, this biological machine, is actually going to leave it one day, and it's going to go into another form because it has to. Whether or not my consciousness is attached to it from this particular life doesn't matter. The experiences and the lessons that I learn in this life will go with me.
Yeah.
The particular individual memories isn't going to matter, but the experiences and the lessons will. And so if you think about it like that, then it's like it's in our DNA to create art, because that self-expression is important in our society, and I particularly believe in indigo children.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that I was born in 75.
Yeah.
And I believe that I was part of the first wave. Now the kids that are coming up now that I believe are indigo are insanely articulate, insanely intellectual, insanely wise. Because you can have a lot of knowledge, but true wisdom is knowing what to do with that fucking knowledge, right? So is there something in your writing that you feel is, because I feel like you got a message, and do you focus on one particular message, or is it something that you're trying to work out as you go along? What's going on in your head when you're writing? Because this is the process that I'm most interested in as a writer. Okay,
I think there's three things. One thing is sometimes I'll write lyrics that are just a reflection of what's going on in my life at the time.
Right.
Whatever lessons I'm, challenged with, or it's just basically a snapshot.
That's therapeutic.
And then there's the message ones where I try to come up with a message. If more songwriters thought, what am I putting out into the world? I learned that with Nervous Boy, because all the songs were about my own particular frustration. And then I'd wonder why nobody went out to see us. Mm-hmm. And one guy at Squeaky's Tip Top back in the day came up and said, your music makes me want to break things. And I thought that was funny. Well, nowadays, it was probably the most honest thing I'd heard back in those days. And had I taken it seriously, I would have looked at myself and gone, if your music makes people want to break things, maybe you ought to think about what you're putting out there. So that's... And then the third thing is I will occasionally write a song to remind myself to behave. So I have songs like... let's see. There's a song I have from my last album called We All Need a Swift Kick in the Pants. And it's a good reminder that don't be an ass.
Well, there's an old saying that all saints were once sinners.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to be a sinner to get to sainthood.
Oh, my wife told me of this phrase. Oh, I can't remember who said it, but in order to arrive at what you are, you must first go through what you are not.
Exactly. And one thing I've learned recently is that being a good person, ladies and gentlemen, is a fucking practice.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're not a good person today,
yeah,
stop beating yourself up, forgive yourself, love yourself, and move the fuck on, and be a good person tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or be a good person the next minute after this one. Mm-hmm. Or the next second after this one. You ain't got to be an asshole. You can look in the mirror and be like, today I'm going to try my best to smile at everybody.
And there's, it should help that there's no such thing as perfection.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't believe in the concept of 100%.
Absolutely.
It does not exist.
No, and anybody that you would look up, like anybody that I would look up to as somebody that I would aspire to be like.
Yeah.
Like say MLK. For me, Martin Luther King was Jesus-like.
Yeah.
In not necessarily. I don't believe that necessarily there was a character, there was an actual person called Jesus, and that he did all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the lessons and the spiritual teachings of Jesus is sound.
Well,
you can't be denied.
That's kind of my viewpoint on it. I can't prove whether Jesus walked the earth, whether he was nailed to a cross, whether he rose from the dead, but there's those red words.
Right.
The words mean something.
They definitely do. And they can be magical. Words can lift you up or they can break you down. I mean, look at Hitler. He brought down a whole fucking country
Yeah.
with his words.
You know, I think the most powerful phrase I've seen attributed to Jesus, for me personally, was "do not fear." Just those 3 words just made a huge difference.
That is true. But for me, the real lesson for me was, and you know, I was brought up Baptist, and I was forced to go to church every Sunday, which I actually started singing in church, and that's when I first got the bug. I was like, holy shit.
Right.
Because whenever the elders of the tribe look at you like you're powerful, I'm like, oh shit, this singing thing, there's something to this. And I do it good. They like me. So I think that for me, whenever he was hung on the cross, and they've already fucking stabbed him in the side with a spear. He's got the crown of thorns. It's fucking 150 degrees outside. The sun's beating down. And he says, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
Yeah.
That is the best statement of unconditional love.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it does. I hear people say this all the time, and people, if you've said this in front of me and you're conscious right now that I'm saying that I recognize that it was bullshit, I'm sorry. I still love you. Okay, we can get past this and move on. But whenever you say that, oh, I've given all this love and I've done all this stuff for all these people and they never give back, I'm just quitting.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Let me tell you something. You love people for you. You don't love people for them to give you something, or them to owe you something, or them to even be nice and love other people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, because what you give is for you. And whenever you love unconditionally like that, like whenever Jesus is being all tortured and crazy, like these people are spitting on him and throwing rocks at him, and he's hanging on a fucking cross by his wrist and his feet, and his ankles, and he's like, man, I love y'all anyway.
Yeah.
You guys are okay with me. I know that this is just something I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
And whenever I pass from this vessel, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And when you realize that you love people and you give to people without expecting anything in return, it will come back to you.
Oh, yeah.
It will not necessarily from that person or that situation, but later on down the road, it will come back to you, ladies and gentlemen. The universe, it works that fucking way.
Yeah.
Okay? And don't take my words for it, because I don't know everything, but go out and find out what the fuck it is and come back and tell me. Now, Ashley has something to say about a lot of stuff that's been going on with Awake Augusta.
I'm raising my hand.
And she's been doing a lot of learning and researching on how to properly perform yoga and instruct yoga, and she's very loving and spiritual about it, and I would like for her to talk about that. It's changed me. Yoga is good.
Okay, well, can I go back first to what we were talking about? There's
can do
power.
whatever you want to.
There's power in words. This is something, and I wish I would have brought all this paper on living spring water and all of this information that I just recently found out about a man named Emoto Marusa.
Oh yeah, Emoto.
With the water. Have you heard of him, Chris?
Oh,
Okay.
this is cool.
You gotta
It's
check him
insane.
out. And I did this with rice, this experiment where I labeled two different jars of white rice. I labeled one "fuck you" and I labeled the other one "I love you," and I put them in different rooms. You don't really have to do that, but I did it because I didn't want my "I love you" rice to hear me shaming and reprimanding the bad rice.
Bro.
And I did this with my little boy Sani Rama, and I mean, we were both just amazed. But the bad rice molded like almost immediately, and the good rice, I mean, there was a little bit of mold 3 weeks later after the bad rice was like covered.
Say his name again, because y'all need to look it up.
I believe his name, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Emoto, Emoto, Marusa or Marusu. You can just
Mariso, I think.
The minute you put Emoto
Google
in,
it, water experiment, and I could get into it, but I'll just let you look it up and read it for yourself. There's videos, and you can see.
He takes photographs of water droplets after he speaks to them a certain way, like really
cool.
close-up pictures. The blessed water is beautiful, has so much order.
The
it looks
patterns
like a crystal.
are like mandalas, but in water.
that is the purpose of. See, words are magic, and they can be used for black magic or they can be used for white magic. You have to be impeccable with your word, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Don't use it for negativity or falsehoods.
Yeah.
Because you're just doing it against yourself. You're not doing it against anybody else.
Agreed. Which then leads me into me and Katie are really wanting to share the knowledge and love of living spring water. We're so blessed to have Flowing Wells Spring, and
It multiplies, baby.
it will change your life if
A lot
you
of
just
people
start
don't
drinking
know
that water.
about it.
I know, and we have it right here.
Do you know about it?
I have
Flowing
a
wells.
big Berkey filter, so I don't really, I have no need
Well,
for
see,
the
Chris,
spring water.
this is not the same.
No, I
Living-
know it's not the same. I
Living
used
spring
to.
water is alive.
We
Oh,
will-
yeah.
The
we,
water,
we
the,
will
the
bring
Berkey
it to you.
filter is good. No, don't get me wrong.
Oh,
As a
it's
matter
the
of-
best.
As a matter of fact, if you use it with your shower too, because a lot of toxins get in your body through your
yeah.
skin.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only issue that I have with if I was totally to change my diet to drinking nothing but living spring water.
Yeah.
I'm still getting a lot of toxins in through the shower, but I just take shorter showers to try to be like. And
Yeah, my
whenever-
whole thing is I can't necessarily eliminate things from my world, but what I can't eliminate, I can minimize.
Well, now
That's-
could
Crowd
we
it out.
could I moto the fucking shower water as it comes down on me to change its molecular
Yes,
level?
yeah, talk nice to it. Let it know that you appreciate it.
Thank you.
know?
I love you.
It makes it
Thank
better.
you.
Don't
Oh,
be
you're
like,
so awesome.
this fucking sucks. You
Yeah.
suck. Ugh.
Well, right
It
now my
doesn't
hot
like
water
that.
heater's
It
not
doesn't like
working.
that.
So if I take a cold shower, I'll be like, but I don't cuss the water. Like, you fucking water, this is bullshit. Yeah. All right, keep going, Ashley.
Well, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the yoga that we're doing at the river. And we're going to start doing it at the Commons. We've started with Saturdays as of right now. We have a Facebook page, so look us up on Facebook. We also have an acro yoga crew that we're putting together, which is basically we just get together after yoga and we're so pumped up and feeling so good that we just play and look at some acro yoga videos because you'll see that shit and you'll want to do it.
Yeah,
'Cause-
you guys remember Airplane? Playing Airplane with somebody? It's essentially that.
yeah.
It's just fun.
It's pretty cool looking, too, especially when two hot chicks like y'all do it. What?
We should high five.
Up, got some love across the table.
So yeah, look us up on Facebook for yoga at the river. Everybody should be doing it. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's good for you.
Shout out to Tammy. Tammy teaches yoga at the river. It's
What day is
I
hers?
believe she's doing a 2:00
2
class
o'clock on Saturdays. We meet at Eisenhower Park. Man, free drugs. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
Dopamine
Yoga.
firing off like
there's a
crazy
book.
afterwards.
There's a book it's got a list of natural highs,
Yeah.
and yoga's one of them.
Oh yeah.
It really is. Oh my god.
Do you ever do yoga, Chris?
I've done everything but. I've done Qigong, I've done martial arts, I've done meditation, I've done all kinds of stuff, and now
Well-
I'm just trying to put it all into music.
It seems like yoga would be a good move for you. You'd probably go to it like a duck in water.
Or you could come out while we're doing yoga at the Commons and play music. That would be cool
Well,
too.
on a
if you
Saturday after I've just played 2 hours, I'm not sure
Oh,
I
yeah.
could do that.
See, that's the difficulty.
I'm too old to go 4 hours in a row.
Honestly, for me, and I don't know how it is for you, but for me, when and you guys, I don't mean this in a negative way. It's just the honest truth of how I feel personally. Whenever my close friends ask me to bring guitar somewhere, it's one thing if we're going on a weekend away thing and we're gonna be camping, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, if you're a professional musician and you're always doing it and you're doing it on stage a lot and you're having to write a lot and you're honing everything, you don't necessarily want to spend your free time. You know, I mean, sometimes you want to just socialize with people, and you don't want to be the guy that's up there with the fucking guitar and singing and all that.
We went to Cape Cod in January to my sister's wedding, and why she got married in January in New England, but she likes the snow, you know.
Okay.
And then there was lots of it.
Yeah.
Well, we spent about a week and a half up there, and I brought the guitar, but I don't think I even took it out of the case the whole time.
Yeah. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I do that a lot because I don't want to disappoint people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it,
Yeah.
and if the mood strikes me, I might grab it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, I'm not going to be forced to go and grab the guitar. And I've had friends that say, "You brought the fucking guitar, why the fucking?" You know, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, but fuck you. I'm not in the mood." So, I mean, you know, you could be like, "You brought your ass, why don't you let me fuck it?" I'm like, that's not going to work for me because I don't want to.
See, I have the unfair
not right
advantage.
now.
that-
Yeah, I
I
mean,
feel
maybe
like it
later.
right
Yeah.
now.
Take me to dinner, motherfucker. Shit.
I have the unfair advantage of playing a non-traditional instrument. So, you know, it's like if I show up somewhere and somebody hands me a guitar, I'll just look at it and go, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, you are lucky in that regard.
You got a piccolo bass? I'll play that. I didn't bring it.
Like, I totally can do that. So, what made you decide to play that instrument anyway?
I didn't decide. It decided for me.
See, the universe.
Yeah,
baby.
no, that's what happened. I walked into a Guitar Center once. This was probably around 2009, maybe. And now, way back in my Augusta days, I was known as the guy that was playing the Steinberger bass. And that was kind of my thing. So I love Steinberger basses. They stopped making them somewhere around the late 90s or so. So I walk into this Guitar Center in 2009 up in Greensboro, North Carolina, and there's a Steinberger bass. And they're going on eBay for $2,000 plus, and they wanted $650 for it. So I put it on layaway. And on the ride home, I'm thinking, why did I see that? Why did that appear to me? And they had just gotten it in on trade. And it occurred to me that I had been struggling so much trying to play the guitar, and with the best results, me being a mediocre guitar player. Too many strings, that whole pick thing just bugged me. Deep in my soul, I think I'm a bass player. But I'm a songwriter, and you know, I felt like singer-songwriters have to play guitar in order to, you know, do their craft. But that's when it became clear to me, I've heard of piccolo bass, I've played piccolo bass before, but never as a songwriting tool. So I put a set of piccolo bass strings on that Steinberger and learned all my songs and said, you know what? The hell with that pick. I don't want that pick anymore. I'm using my fingers like I'm supposed to do.
I like the way you use your fingers too, because it it adds a different flair. The way that you're
Yeah.
able to pop the strings and stuff.
Oh, there's a guy. Oh, now you being a Morphine fan, you would love this. I can't think of his name. He's a guy from. There's like a tribe in Western China, and they have an instrument called the dutar, and it's got 2 strings on it, and it's really, it's like super long instrument. And this guy is just rocking it, and he's got this technique where it'll sound like he does this trill with his fingers on these 2 strings, and it's inhuman. And you just watch these videos. I'll have to send you a link once I remember what his name is, and if I can spell it. There's all kinds of vowels in there.
You say the name again?
Yeah, I didn't say the name.
The name of the band?
The dutar.
Dutar.
Yeah.
The name of the is it a band or
No, it's an instrument.
It's just an instrument.
It's like a lute, but it's
Where
about
does it come from?
5
Do you
feet
know?
long. It's Western China. There's a province out there, and there's like a little village. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, I'll go post a link on Facebook as soon as I get internet service back. Thank you, AT&T, for this 3-day outage.
I saw a scene kung fu movie one time where it the guy had one of those like long guitars, or the Chinese dude, right? He's got long, and he's like playing, and then he would like sling, and like the actual sound waves would go and like hit people and kill them and shit, and, like cut them in half.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, whoa, that's so cool.
That's
Music can be used for
advanced.
bad too. But I just heard recently that, James Hetfield is a really nice guy, even though whenever he's on stage, he loses 18 pounds water weight, and he sings about, the devil.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Negative shit. Like, I thought about that, and I'm a Metallica fan. I like their music, but at the same time, I'm like, man, it would be really hard for me to sing those negative lyrics like all the time.
Oh,
nothing else matters.
When I was a kid, I was a big Devo fan. Surprise! There's one thing you don't know about Chris Hardy that now you do know. I used to love Devo. And then after high school,
Devo.
Yeah, and after high school, I just didn't pay any attention to him. And then, like a couple of years ago, I downloaded one of like their second album, and listened. As I was listening to it, I was going, "Oh my God! Every song on here has the filthiest lyrics. Why was I taking that in as a kid?" And it's like, I can't listen to this stuff now.
Dude, whenever I was a kid, Devo freaked me out because the video for Whip It.
Oh yeah.
Whenever he whips that girl and her clothes comes off. Like I was literally like pied. I was like, oh, he shouldn't be doing it. Why'd he do that to that girl?
No.
That's
What
not
did she do to
nice.
him?
That is not nice.
Yeah.
Of course, I was the weirdest kid in the
And then
history
he
of
moves
kids.
on to do music for children's cartoons. Hey.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like Pee Wee Herman being in Cheech and Chong's next movie or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. Under the table doing lines of cocaine, and then he's the fucking Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, and all the kids show Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
I was like, don't y'all know where he came from? Like, he's dirty.
Yeah, people will
It's like Bob
surprise you.
Saget with Full House. If you see his stand-up, he is filthy dirty. And you have to, if people who don't know, they go to his shows all the time thinking he's going to be like Full House. He has a precursor to his show. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, if you came here to see Full House, go back fucking home. Because it's about to get raw in this bitch. I can see by the level of Cavassier in my glass that it is coming to the end of the show. Tell people where they can find Chris Hardy. If I Google Chris Hardy,
I'm at Greenlight Studios right now.
Party.
If you Google Chris Hardy, you can find me at facebook.com/Chris Hardy 4. That is the number 4.
Absolutely.
That is my page. You can like my page.
Do that.
Do it.
And your wife's...
Turtlesvoice.com.
Okay.
And the novel on Amazon is Kicking the Goat Silly. Put it in your Kindle today.
Put it in your Kindle right now.
Yes.
Do it.
And you can reach the show at the Soulcast at mail.com, not Gmail, mail.com.
Ooh.
And you can totally write me and, say negative stuff if you want to, but a few lines in, I'm deleting it and not reading it, so fuck you. But if you have anything positive to say, please send it my way. Any suggestions, anything like that for the show, I would like to hear as well. Miss Katie Scarborough, are you on Google? Can people Google you? Have you ever Googled your name?
I have Googled my name. There is something for when I was 15, I was in the newspaper for weight loss. So don't Google me. Don't do that. But I am on Facebook.
All right,
I don't
cool.
know what it is though.
All right.
And Awake Augusta is on Facebook also.
Yeah.
Search for
friend.
us.
It's a private group, but if you ask to be a
ask to
friend,
be
everybody's
involved.
gonna you're not gonna be denied.
It's a community thing.
You can't be part of it.
I don't like your hair. No.
So Ashley, any shout outs? What you want to say? Closing statements
Shout
from
out
Ashley.
to all my people.
What's up, peeps?
Can I read the mission statement
Yeah.
for Awake Augusta just so people know, exactly what we're doing. We're a group of people coming together in unity and love, working together to strengthen and inspire our community, creating a ripple effect of positivity that spreads like wildfire.
That's
Come
right.
join us.
Yes.
Do stuff.
We'll see y'all next time.
Warning.
Later.
You will never be the same because you were just listening to the Soul Cast with Woody Wood. We'll see you next week.